Hello and welcome everybody. This is Dr. Joe coming to you talking about the biggest obstacles for healing nerves. Now in Guillain Barre, we're talking about having unhealthy nerve cells. And for the majority of us, what this means is that the myelin sheath, the outside little bubble here along this long axon, which is, just talking about cell anatomy here, this myelin sheath gets all chewed up by the immune system, which is what we're looking at here. And so we get this direction of nerve impulse that's usually very fast, gets slowed down because the myelin sheath is all damaged from this immune system. Now I know some of us have the axonal variants, and in that case it's these in-between areas that get damaged, but the result is the same. We get a slowed or weakened conduction of this nerve impulse. Now, this picture here says that you get loss of feeling, but I also want to include that, as we're all familiar, we also get loss of function, reduced sense position, which is something I notice, not being able to tell where my body is in space or having a very slow reaction to that, and pain and tingling, which I think most people either get from the get-go or it's kind of lingers on as the recovery continues. And so, as the title implies, we're trying to go from this unhealthy nerve cell to a healthy nerve cell. And as I mentioned, that generally means restoring the myelin. So healthy myelin means a healthy nerve. And as I was mentioning, the axonal forms of Guillain Barre results in the same thing, generally speaking, but they both rely on the same healing cells, these Schwann cells, which are the cells that are responsible for maintaining and keeping healthy myelin. So the question is, how do we make healthy myelin, or how do we rebuild it? Now, myelin debris inhibits the growth of healthy new myelin, and this is a very important point, because in order to make healthy myelin in a very efficient manner, this myelin debris needs to be cleared. All this chewed up myelin here needs to go, or needs to repair, and that process is called autophagy, which means in Latin to eat the self. So essentially, the blood supply around the nerve bundles, or white blood cells, come in through that nerve supply and clear out some of this chewed up myelin. In addition, the Schwann cells, which are the cells of the myelin, also perform this autophagy process and take up the damaged myelin components, recycle them, take the nutrients from that recycled cell material, that recycled myelin material, takes those nutrients and uses them, which is really cool. It's not like we're just taking out the trash, we're actually doing some recycling that matters and is helpful for us. And like I'm having bold here, that old damaged myelin gets converted into healthy myelin components. Now, so the next question is, how do we get this autophagy process to be activated? Well, it turns out this autophagy process is always active, which is good. because it helps any sort of damage in the body to recover. So you sprain your ankle gets inflamed, there's autophagy going on. The immune system has damaged the nerves, autophagy is going on to help repair the nerves. But we can make this process even better, more efficient, faster. So the 3 best ways to trigger autophagy are regular exercise, intermittent fasting, and fasting mimetics, which are compounds in plants that help the body's metabolism mimic fasting in a way. So it stimulates the metabolism in a way that puts the body into a fasting state. And it's third on the list because while it's helpful, it's not nearly as good as the top 2. Because regular exercise brings blood to that area. So say your feet are numb and you can't feel them and they're cold, which is something I experienced a lot. Bringing blood flow to that area literally is helping the process of removing debris and waste. Think about, bringing more workers onto a job site, onto a construction site. It's the same thing, or at least pretty similar. It also stimulates the nerves, and that's helpful on many cellular levels. And a fun saying in the neurological rehabilitation world is that nerves that fire together wire together. So literally retraining these nerves to fire in a way that is functional for our bodies. And regular exercise, most importantly, triggers a metabolic switching, and that is what triggers autophagy. That is what's sending these signals to our cells that promote a greater amount of clearing, a greater amount of debris processing. Now, for many folks that are earlier in this recovery process, exercise may be out of the picture because either we're not walking yet, or our endurance or stamina is incredibly low, and that's okay, because this can be implemented later on. And that's okay also because number 2, which is super effective in triggering autophagy, is intermittent fasting, and that's something all of us can do. And like I was mentioning, this is very advantageous because it doesn't require any physical abilities. We can just do it. And I've talked about this with some folks, and there's a misconception that with intermittent fasting that we're skipping meals and some of the nutrients that we may need to help us recover and rebuild are being left out. And this is not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is timing our meals such that everything that we are needing to eat is fit into a time window. So say we sleep 8 hours overnight, and then let's say we go to bed at 10 p.m. and we're up at 6 a.m. By the time noon rolls around, we would have gone 14 hours, which is what most experts say is when that metabolic switching happens and autophagy is promoted. Now from noon to 10 p.m., we can have all the same number of calories, all the same number of nutrients that we have normally would have had in the day, into that time window. So we're not missing out on anything, but what we are getting is this metabolic switching, and what we are getting is more autophagy, and that means all this chewed up myelin is more quickly converted into this healthy myelin, and that this nerve impulse is stronger, faster, and better, and so is our ability. And so I'll be doing a whole series of videos on intermittent fasting, but the last one that I was alluding to earlier, fasting mimetics, activates genes and cell signals to promote autophagy. These include things like resveratrol, quercetin, and a whole host of other compounds that are found in plants in food. Quercetin is high in things like kale, red onions, garlic. Resveratrol is like the red wine compound. It's in grape skins, although I don't recommend drinking. It is in grapes, but it's probably best in like a supplement form. It is in like other like things like Japanese knotweed, which is kind of gross and hard to find anyway. But yep, there we have it. Just wanted to give you guys a quick rundown of this major obstacle that our nerves need to overcome in order to heal. And it is major. It's highlighted in many different scientific publications that I'll be citing in the descriptions below. Oh, and one more note. Autophagy tends to tax our antioxidants, which I'll go into more in another video, but it's a good idea to always just keep a full tank of antioxidants. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this video. I'll be doing many videos on different topics that are going to be helpful for recovering from Guillain Barre, and yeah, let me know what you think. Put them in the comments, any questions or concerns, and I'll see everyone in the next video.